Hi everyone, welcome to what will be the final video in this little series from Botanicum by Maria Trolle. Now we have done the background and we've done the little girl, so today we're going to be dealing with all the other bits and pieces. So we'll start with the Blackberry. I'm going to do the one she's holding. I will do them all in the same way, but I thought I would just complete that little bit with her if we do the one that she is holding. So I'm just bringing us in nice and close. I'll pop that somewhere central. Now when I think about a Blackberry, I don't think of it as being black. I think of it as being a very dark purple with a tinge of pink, and that's how I like to colour it. So I will, but before I start, I was actually watching a video of a colouring of a Blackberry by Chris Cheng, and she started in the opposite way to me, and I thought it might be fun to have a go at doing a little bit different. So I'm going to start with the Oyster colour. These are the Derwent Lightfast that we have been using. And I'm going to put a little dab in the centre of each of the little circular bits. This is what she did. And obviously she is the master of colouring with pencil. She is amazing. So a little dab in the centre like that. Now this is a slightly pinky white, but I think that's absolutely perfect. Now I want to go for my pinkish background. So I'm using the, it's called purple, but it's a sort of pinky purple. And I'm going to do a light layer all over the Blackberry. We might see that white. It's just come right over the white. I thought that white might burnish in, and it hasn't. That's interesting. Anyway, I'm just darkening this up a little bit. Now we don't want, we want it to stand out from our girl. Fairy? Do you think she's a fairy? Maybe. But that's going to happen now. We're going to grab our Nightshade. This is our sort of very dark violet-y colour. And we're going to deal with every single little circle separately. So it takes some time, but going around the edge like that and leaving a bit in the middle. Now I have got other Blackberry videos where I do this, so it shouldn't be anything new to any of you that have watched those, but it's always nice just to show you on this. And also I don't think I've done one with these pencils before. So we're leaving quite a big white, well, pale centre at the moment, but I prefer to leave a bigger area and then it's there to fill in if I want it, rather than filling in too much and then not having anything left to play with. Now it's you can use a white pen to help the white shine, which I may very well do. Now if you want, you can absolutely do some of your Blackberries in a more red tone, like they're less ripe, and some even in green. For me that gets too complicated, and I love colouring them this colour. So for two reasons I'm not going to do that. Right, so we've got that base down. What I'm going to do now is grab a black. It needs to be quite sharp, this one really isn't, and go over all the black lines that are on here with the black. Okay, this is a fairly thick black, but it's okay, it's going to make it look quite shadowy in between them to provide the sort of shadow that we need, which makes it look a bit more three-dimensional. Now we definitely got too much of a white piece. What I'm going to do is go back to my purple. Ooh, there it is. Spinny, spinny, and fill that in a little bit. So I'm actually going to go over the top of the what was it, the Nightshade, and just draw it in slightly with the purple, and then we get that sort of tinge of pink that I'm looking for in my Blackberry. Now as I say, don't worry if you accidentally colour over the white. We can come back in with a white pen and just top that up, as it were, so it's okay. So I'm just going around all of them. It takes a bit of time, but I think it's worth it. you may not personally be able to see much difference, but I find it fun anyway. So yeah, I was just reading the news during my lunch break. I'm going to make these a bit smaller now, just by dabbing gently at them until they're a little bit smaller. Yeah, so I tend to have a little look at the news during the day, but there's usually some politics going on and something. But the news headline that caught my eye today was well, it was quite funny actually, that a certain chocolate brand have decided to leave a particular one out of their selection boxes. How this made news headlines, I was flummoxed. But it was nice to have some sort of news that wasn't politics or horrid things, or you know. And so apparently the coconut ones are really unpopular, so they're going to leave them out. Now here, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, whether to add a dot of white or whether that will be too bright. I think I might just add a really small dot right in the middle of that white area. So I'm going to use my 05 Gellyroll, which is a tiny tip, and just add just a really little bit. That bit's quite got enough. Just the smallest bit. That's it. Probably wasn't even worth bothering, but you know. Now the actual leaves. Now again, it's quite small on this little blackberry, but we can do these little ones. Now I've grabbed. I've got a few greens that I thought would work together. The Basil is the darkest one, and I picked the sharpened off name green, and I'm going to look it up, hang on a minute, and the grass green. Oh gosh, the book is very long. Oh, it's the grass green, and the grass green is 70%. So I'm going to actually start with the grass green, and I think that's actually a bit of blackberry there that I've missed. Okay, let's do these leaves. I'm just putting down a medium pressure of grass green. I think that's a little bit too bright, but that's fine. Now, I'm just going to do that bit of here. So I've just put down, and that bit, a bit of purple. And I'm going to grab the Nightshade, just put a bit around it. There we go. That's it. I'm not going to fiddle around anymore. So I've got the Basil. So what I'm going to do with my Basil is firstly get some darker colour near the base, particularly where they're touching. Like that. And then on the stalk, sort of around one edge where it will be darker, like that. Then I'm simply going to get the grass green and colour over the rest. And then we can see a contrast between the light and dark. There. Now for the actual leaves, we do it slightly differently. Now these are slightly complicated by the fact that she's sitting on them, so I think there might be some shadow. I think if we do this leaf, now let me just move my book up a little bit, there, and the stem, that'll be a little bit easier to start with. I'm trying to work out what's going on there. But anyway, I'll worry about that as a colour. So like I did with the blackberry we now can't see, I'm going to go all over with the grass green to start with. Yes, so it was quite controversial that they're taking out this coconut chocolate. I think there are a lot of people who really detest coconut. Now I'm going to colour the stem as well, because I'm going to come out a tad. I'm going to show you my technique for stem at the same time. Well, the sun's shining. I don't think it's going to come over the page. Wow, that's bright. Crikey, I thought it was going to rain this afternoon. That is bright sunshine. So we're just colouring all of the stem. You can see it's quite rough at the minute. I'm not going to do that bit. I'm going to treat that as if it's a leaf, like that. Now we're going to go in with our basil and do our darker areas. Now if I was doing this bit of leaf under her, I would do quite a hard line under her leg just to show some shadow. But we're doing this leaf, and I'm thinking I would like my leaves a bit darker in the middle to make them look like they're slightly dipped in. So I'm putting quite a hard line down the middle and then fading it out a bit like that. And then I'll do the same at the top, like that. To add in some shadow. You can put a little bit where it's near the stem as well. Now while I've got the basil, I'll show you the stem. I'm going to go along each side of the stem, trying to go over the black line as much as I can, but not outside of it. It's quite tricky. Do the best you can. All the way around. Now the stems of some blackberry bushes have a bit of reddish colour in them, maybe slightly purpley, so I had thought about doing that, but I'm not, because I'm only going to do up to here. I think it's going to overcomplicate the picture, and it might make the branches fade into the background too much. So that's my dark. I'm sort of tempted to do a little bit on the bottom of here as well. I don't know why, just a lower bit of leaf. My brain's just telling me it wants a bit. I trust my brain. I don't know why. Now I'm going to go back to the grass green that we used before, because I haven't got a strong enough layer of it down. With our blackberry, it was quite hard, so I didn't need more. But I'm just going to go over those darker areas a bit and extend them a little. The same on here, just extend some of those darker areas a bit, because we've got quite a lot going on there, and I want to try and emphasize where it's lighter to give this stem some depth. Okay, and then we're going to go with the grass green 70%, which is our lightest colour, and finish off. So basically filling in. You could leave the sort of white bit to make it look shiny, but I've decided not to do that. I like doing it with the hair. I want her to sort of stand out a bit more. I think with the white on the blackberries and things like that, I don't think we need it on the leaves. But it's completely, you may completely disagree with me. You may think it would be really nice, so it's up to you. So I'm just filling in these gaps really where there's less pencil, and hoping that they would still stay light enough to make it look slightly three-dimensional, which I think it has. It's just a matter of building up those layers until it just looks right, so it looks a bit more 3D. Okay, that is that. And then we can do our flower. Now we did one before with the in the girl's hair. I'm trying to remember what colour I did. I'm pretty sure I did a heather and a salmon. There we go. We'll try it again. So start with the heather, and in the central area put down more, and then sort of fade it out towards the edge as much as you can. Try not to get it on the seeds and things, but do your best. If you do, we've got a white pen that we can use. This is not the end of the world. So each petal in exactly the same way. Now I'm trying desperately to decide what colour to colour our caterpillar, and I really don't know what's going to work. So what I've decided I'm going to do is when I finish this flower, I'm going to go away and finish the rest of the page, and I'm going to come back to you when it's all done apart from the caterpillar and talk you through my colour decision, because at the moment I don't know. So now here we've got the salmon. We're going to basically go over the colour we've done, burnish it slightly and just bring it towards the edge of the petal like that. I don't know if this is what I used for her dress rather than what I used for the flower. Did I use the rose? I think I used the rose for the dress, didn't I? Anyway, we wanted it all to be quite similar. So there is the start of our flower. Now we have to do the centre. Now I want to use the foliage again. Here we go, foliage. So I'm going to do it on this central bit. Try and make it a bit dark on the edge, it's quite tricky. And just circle these dots like this. Now we need to go in with a white. We've got our white that we used just now, number 5. We used number 5 on our flowers before. I'm going to start to dot sort of all round here, and lines. This is quite a fine pen. I think I'm going to go for a slightly thicker one. I think I'm going to grab the 8. What I want is to put in some more lines around here. Like that. You can just about start to see them, and some dots all about. Like that. Dot, 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 dot. So that's our flower. So that's quite simple. I am going to now do all the flowers and all the leaves and stems and blackberries, and then come back. Now down here in the corner we have a smaller blackberry. Now what I'm going to try and do is the one that's here, that leaf, I'm going to make slightly darker than these, just so they stand out a little bit. I also haven't decided about what I'm doing for the border yet. I will decide that with you as well. So off I go to finish off. It will take quite a while, and I'll be back to talk you through the caterpillar once I'm done. Hi everyone, I am back and I have finished doing the greens, she says confidently now, just noticing bits she has forgotten. Typical, isn't it? I haven't done any of these stems here, but I was going to talk you through how I was going to decide how to colour our little caterpillar friend. So I can do that while I'm just colouring in these stems, which yeah, I very obviously, I couldn't see very well at my desk. It's getting really dark, and I guess I just was concentrating too hard on different areas. But let's have a look. Yeah, I think we're done now. So we have our little caterpillar friend here to do. I would like him to stand out a little bit so we can see him, but not too much. I don't want him to take over the whole picture. Now what I was thinking was, come in a little bit. The girl, our fairy friend, she has brown hair. There's no other brown in the picture. So I thought maybe we would do caterpillar in a brownish colour. So let's come in a bit closer and have a look at him. I thought we've got quite a few greeny browns, so I thought that might be the way to go, like the olive earth. So that's where I'm going to start, and I'm going to sort of do each of his little body sections. So I'm going to go around the edge of each section, putting down some colour. Because I don't know about you, I do think the caterpillars are sort of this colour, but they're not really, are they? Because when I see them along the canal path, they're usually yellow and black striped. So I don't know. They must come in lots of different colours, surely. But now he's a bit discoloured from the background and the leaves and things, so I think this colour works quite well. Now we've left these little bits. I'm just going to scumble a little bit around them so they're not harsh, as it were. And I'm going to grab the foliage green, which we have already used for the centre of our flowers, and use that for his body in the middle. So I'm just going to go through those little over their centres with the foliage green, and then I think we might be done. I'm just going to go over it a bit more. I just want to make sure that it's sort of burnished down really. There he is. Oh, it's quite a sweet picture, isn't it? Oh, I'm trying to go out and I'm going in. Here we go. So here is the finished page. I'm really pleased with it, I have to say. You may not see the glitter very well. There it is. Look at that. It does show up when I pick up the page a little. I think it's just it catches the light because it's quite dark in here, which helps really. My camera is adjusting. There you go. So I was rather pleased with how her wings look. Actually, might be difficult for you to see, but there she is. There's the finished picture. So thank you very much for watching. I'm not sure how long this video's been actually. There were lots of stops and starts and things like that, and I think it fits neatly into 3 bits, but maybe 2, no 3 bits. So it's a little series for you. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and happy colouring.